BTS Global Exclusive. Seoul, October 2025. The city was breathing in silver light. Seoul at midnight often feels like a mirror reflecting both dreams and ghosts. And tonight, the reflection seemed to whisper one name over and over again: Jikook. It had been weeks since the last time Jungkook and Park Jimin were seen together in public, yet their absence did not silence the world. If anything, it made the noise louder. Every shadow, every glance, every lyric posted, every subtle tone in their voices was analyzed, decoded, and debated. What do the stars truly align for these two souls who, since their teenage years, have shared the same stage, the same spotlight, and perhaps something deeper that words could never quite capture? At the heart of the global fascination lies not only curiosity, but something gentler, more emotional, a longing to understand the truth behind the quiet. Jungkook's sudden retreat from public life after his recent solo milestones had left fans uneasy. Meanwhile, Jimin's mysterious late-night posts, poetic and tinted with melancholy, stirred speculation. Are they sending messages to each other? One fan wrote on X. Another replied, "The alignment is too clear. It's as if the stars are preparing something big." Tonight, in the dim glow of Seoul's skyline, that speculation found a heartbeat again. It began with a rumor, a whisper that Jungkook and Jimin had been spotted entering HYB's basement recording studio separately, within minutes of each other. The CCTV footage was grainy, barely recognizable, but the outline of their movements sent the fandom into chaos. Jikook is back, someone declared online. But what if this wasn't just a reunion? What if it was a realignment, a cosmic reset, where the stars of two destinies finally found their orbit again? Because if history had taught ARMY anything, it's that the connection between these two is not something that can be easily silenced. The world first felt it years ago, in glances shared on stage, in the way Jimin's voice seemed to rise exactly when Jungkook's faltered, as if each knew instinctively how to fill the other's silence. They grew up together, stumbled through fame together, learned to hide and to shine all at once. But in recent months, something shifted. There was a kind of distance that didn't feel like absence, but preparation, as though they were both walking towards something only they could see. Then came the signs. When Jungkook released his latest solo clip, a dimly lit dance practice in a narrow room, filmed from one static angle, fans noticed something strange. The melody in the background wasn't one of his known tracks. It was softer, almost sorrowful, with a fragment of Jimin's vocal tone buried deep in the harmony. The internet froze. Is that Jimin's voice? Wait, why does this sound like an unreleased track? And then, even more curious, the video's caption, "The stars remember." Within hours, hashtags exploded across social media. Hashtag the stars remember Jikook, hashtag Jikook future, hashtag JJXPJM live, and most hauntingly, hashtag when the stars align. No confirmation came from HYB. No denial either. Just silence, the kind that hums louder than sound. Meanwhile, Jimin was spotted in Tokyo, sitting alone at a quiet cafe overlooking the Shibuya skyline. His head was bowed over a notebook, pen moving slowly as if tracing memories. A fan who saw him said he seemed peaceful but far away, like he was writing a message meant for someone who wasn't there yet. Hours later, Jimin posted a story, a photo of a starry night sky, with the caption, "The same stars we see, the same sky we wait under." The fandom lost its breath. From Los Angeles to London, from Seoul to Sao Paulo, ARMY began drawing connections. Could it be that both of them were preparing something together? Perhaps a performance, a project, or maybe a confession? Theories multiplied. Some believed they were secretly filming a documentary, chronicling their intertwined artistic paths. Others claimed it was something more intimate, a musical collaboration that speaks their unspoken truth. But among all the noise, there was a subtler current, a quiet realization that maybe this wasn't about publicity or marketing at all. Maybe it was simply about two people finding their way back to a shared horizon after years of chasing their own. Every time Jimin looks at Jungkook, an old fan interview resurfaced. You can feel something shift, not just between them, but in the air. That air felt electric again now. Weeks later, on October 18th, the stars literally aligned. in a rare celestial event visible across parts of Asia. The media called it the seventh alignment, when Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus formed a near-perfect triangle, symbolizing balance and unity. To most people, it was a beautiful astronomical occurrence. To ARMY, it was prophecy. That same night, Jungkook's Weverse account flickered online for exactly 3 minutes. No video. No image. Just text. The stars are not coincidences. See you soon. He logged off. Nothing else was posted. But within seconds, Jimin's account updated too. A single word. Promise. The world imploded. Thousands of fans flooded timelines, piecing together what it could mean. Was it confirmation of a project? A personal message? Or something only they understood? A continuation of the silent dialogue they've maintained for years? Jikook has always communicated in ways we're not supposed to understand, one fan wrote. That's what makes it real. Behind HYB's glass walls, insiders refused to comment. But whispers slipped through cracks. Whispers of a concept named the future of Jikook, a visual project that had been under development since early 2025. Sources described it as a fusion of film, sound, and real emotion, something too personal to be categorized as mere performance. It's not just a duet, said one anonymous staff member. It's like a confession in motion. And perhaps that's what it had always been. Because if Jimin's artistry is the language of vulnerability, Jungkook's is the language of truth. When they collide, something universal emerges, a sound that transcends words, a look that defies interpretation. Theirs is not a story of labels or definitions. It's a constellation, sometimes bright, sometimes lost in clouds, but always there, waiting to be found again. The next clue came days later, through a leak. An unlisted YouTube video titled Project 2025 Alignment surfaced briefly before being deleted. It contained less than 30 seconds of footage, a slow pan across a dark stage, faint breathing sounds, and two silhouettes walking toward each other from opposite ends. At the exact moment their shadows merged, a whisper was heard. It's time. The fandom didn't sleep for days. The HYB issued no statement, but their PR team quietly removed hundreds of re-uploads, fueling even more speculation. If it's fake, why remove it? Someone argued online. Others noted the similarity between the lighting in the clip and HYB's private performance hall. By then, one thing was certain, something was coming. And when it finally did, the world stood still. November 1st, 2025. Midnight KST. The official HYB YouTube channel uploaded a black thumbnail titled JJK XPJM When the Stars Align. No teaser, no poster, no prior notice. Within minutes, millions tuned in live. The screen opened with silence. Then Jimin's voice, soft as prayer. There's a time when silence says everything we never dared to speak. The camera faded to Jungkook, standing in a circle of light, eyes closed, a faint tremor in his breath. Music rose slowly, a haunting melody that blended his vocals with Jimin's harmonies in seamless contrast. It wasn't a love song in the traditional sense. It was something beyond, an exchange between souls who had known both distance and gravity. In one verse, Jimin whispered, "Even when we walked alone, I never stopped hearing you." Jungkook replied, "Even when I lost my way, your light stayed." The chorus came like thunder. "When the stars align, I'll find you again. Between our shadows, there's still one flame." It wasn't just a song. It was a revelation. For the next 6 minutes, the world forgot to breathe. The choreography, minimal but emotionally raw, showed the push and pull of two figures orbiting, breaking, and finding equilibrium again, like celestial bodies bound by invisible force. Each movement mirrored a decade of unspoken emotions: admiration, exhaustion, gratitude, and perhaps love in its most undefinable form.